Shalom. I'll give all honor and praises to Yahweh, Bashim Shabbat Shem Kakodash. Everyone is to the Edosh Apostle Great Master of teaching the streets of Shirki, citation to hopeful let this brother forecast of the earth. This is gonna be another lesson titled Black Americans, is it ready for war? Okay, this is gonna be a response into a clip I found. All right. Is the Black Americans referring to what you so-called Negro, you Hispanic, Latino, etc. Okay. You that is of the tribe of Israel, okay? You that is of the nation of Israel, all right? So I'm going to play this little clip here, and then for copyright purposes, I'm using this clip for education and teaching purposes only. And that's is exactly correct. He's correct, right? he is exactly correct, right? You know, and we haven't seen this, right? When Trump made the stated that he was going to send the National Guard to Chicago, you had all these Chicago gang, right? All right, you know, warning, okay, and this is what I'm talking about, quote unquote warning that 100,000 are going to fight back when National Guard arrives, right? And they don't even need a National Guard, right? Really, okay, to take out Jake, all right, if they really wanted to have crime be taken out of the streets, okay, they can use they have biological weapons, all right, you know, you have something called biological warfare where they can use a welder, okay, natural elements to destroy you, okay. They use physicology, right? You know, to destroy Jake, right? This devil controls this whole world, right? Satan is the prince of this world, right? The prince of the power of this world, right? It's run by evilness, okay? So I'm gonna get here Jeremiah 50 and let's see. Jeremiah 15:7 says, all that found them, meaning where all that found the nation, the sheep of Israel, right? Sheep of the nation of Israel is referring to the people, okay? You Jacobs, okay? And the one that found them referring to these other nations, they led Jake into captivity, all right? Had devoured them, meaning what? Completely, you know, destroy you, right? But Jake, it look what mindset Jake is in, okay? You know, this doesn't look like a nation that, you know, um is conquering, right? You know, these are Israelites, right? Look at them, okay? They're talking about they're gonna fight against them that conquers them, right? They in the country, okay? That's how dumb our people is. They in the country that had them in captivity. They're in the country that had to completely destroy them who they are, okay? Got them thinking that they're black, okay? Got them fighting against one another, all right? That's the weapon the devil like to use, and they're using it. And Jake can't, not aware what divide and conquer, right? Jake is divided, right? Blacks against Latinos, meaning what the Northern Kingdom against the Southern Kingdom, okay? They don't even know that they were the same tribe, they were the same nation. Okay, they should be coming together. All right, but they're not because they've been divided. Okay, through the means of laws. Okay, through the means of just a mission to destroy Jake. Okay, ultimately that's what is devil Esau. That's the only thing he wants to do, destroy Jake. All right, but Jake don't see it. Okay, they're thinking that their weapons, right? You know, their 12 guns, okay, are going to save them. No, Jake is dumb, stupid. Okay, and their adversary says, "We offend not, because they have sinned against the Lord Yahweh Shah, the habitation of justice, even the Lord Yahweh Shah, the hope of their fathers." Okay, and right now Jake don't have hope. Okay, their only hope is in their weapon. Okay, not in Yahweh Shah. Right. So right now Jake is hopeless. Right. This is why when we come into this truth, right, our hope is in the Lord Yahweh Shah. You know, our hope of meaning what protection. Okay, our only need or anything we need is we trust in the Lord Yahweh Shah. Okay. So we get here Genesis the 27th chapter. Okay, getting further proving the point that Jake is not ready for war with Esau. Okay, the so-called white men. They're captors. Okay, you know they think they gonna keep, and they're just a plan to what, just completely just to destroy Jake. That's all right. Jake is dumb, and Esau know Jake is dumb. Right. So this is going to the blessings, Genesis 27 chapter verse 34. And when Esau heard the words of his father, he cried with a great and exceeding bitter cry, and said unto his father, "Bless me, even me also, O my father." And he said, "Thy brother came with subtlety and have taken away thy blessings." And he said, "Is not he rightly named Jacob? For he has supplanted me these 2 times. He took away my birthright, and behold, now he take away my blessings." And he said, "Hast thou not reserved a blessing for me?" And Isaac answered and said unto Esau, "Behold, I have made him thy lord, and all his brethren have I given to him for servants, and with corn and wine have I sustained him. And what shall I do now to thee, my son?" And this is going to play out in the kingdom of heaven. Okay, ultimately, this blessing that we got from Isaac, right? Because we're gonna be over Esau. We're gonna be rooting over Esau. Okay. And he said unto his father, "Has not but one blessing, my father? Bless me, even me also, O my father." And Esau lifted up his voice and wept. And Isaac, his father, answered and said to him, "Behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth," meaning what? That Esau will control this earth currently, right? He's currently ruling this earth. He ruling the fatness of the earth, right? He have all the riches, okay, you know, of this earth. He have it under his control. It can dish out into whoever he want, and of the dew of heaven from above. Okay, he have control of the heavens of above. Okay, You know, he have satellites, right? Different things in the heavens, right? To look down, right? To control and do stuff. By thy sword shall thou live. That's the point, right? Esau is living by his sword. Okay, he could his sword. Let me look that word sword up. Harab, sword, tooth for cutting stone. Okay, a sword. A sword goes back to what your modern day, weapons basically. Okay, it just goes back to your modern day weapons. Okay, it said military power. Oh, Esau lived by his military. Okay, power, his military strength. Okay, and he gonna use that military power, that sword. Okay, to punish you, Jakes. Okay, that is constantly causing havoc in his kingdom. Okay, violence or distortion. Right, Esau's living by violence, distortion. Right, and he using food. He using the nature. Okay, he even using your own people to completely destroy you. Okay, the thing is, Jake don't fit. Right, they're in the trap. Okay, this is why our people are hopeless. And this is why people are sheep as well. Okay, they don't fit. Right, Jake don't see how bad state and condition that they are in. Okay, and that they need help. Okay, they need a power to protect them. Right, and this is why we're daily putting lessons, daily teaching. Okay, tell our people to repent, turn back from their ways, and seek the Lord Yahweh in truth and sincerity. Okay, and shall serve thy brother. Okay, and it shall come to pass when thou shalt have the dominion that thou shalt break his yoke from thy neck. All right. Yeah, it just says you will live by your sword. Okay, by violence, by destruction, by his military power. Okay, and you will serve your brother. But when you decide to break free, you will shake his yoke from your neck. All right, because um, ultimately, they're going back to the Renaissance period, right? When Jake was ruling. Okay, and then that when Esau came with power, and well, the Renaissance is the rebirth. Is that when Esau came out, out came in power, right? And that when he broke um, our yoke that we had on him from his neck. Okay, you know, and now he's ruling for that little season, going pursuant to Revelations. Okay, but we're coming to a time, right, where Esau's in the where Jacob's beginning with your father. We're gonna put that yoke, okay, back on his neck. to serve us, okay, because that's our blessings, okay. And we're the chosen nation, okay. Uh, this is Revelation 6:3. The second seal, war. All right. It says, and when he opened the second seal, I heard the second beast say, "Come and see." All right, and there went out another horse that was red. Okay, the horse that was red was born to Esau. Okay, remember because Esau was red. Okay, his name go back to red, red, red. Okay, red. Um, basically Rothschild. Okay, well, red Harry. He then go back to Esau. Then go back to Harry. All right. But when you look far more in it, go back to um, you know, red. Okay. Let's see if I can get something. Oh yeah. Rebecca when she said that one came um out the first one came out red like a hairy garment. James 25:25. The first came out red like a hairy garment, and they called his name Esau. Okay, which is the when anyway he came out red. He came out the womb. Okay, yeah, out the womb because that's his Hebrew name. His Hebrew name is Adawam. Adawam means red. Okay, that's the Hebrew Adawam. Red ruddy. Okay, which goes back to red ruddy. Okay, Adawam. All right, so Esau, which referred to meaning what he was red, as a sense of that he was white. Okay, the so-called white people they're red. Okay, just look at them. All right, you know they when they get too much heat on them. Okay, too much sunlight on them, they get sunburned. They get red. Okay, they turn red. They get sunburned. All right, and the others been called by um, their blood vessels. All right. Revelation says before I read, and there went out another horse that was red, and power was given to him that set their own to take peace from the earth. Okay, to take peace from the earth. All right, this devil, okay, Esau is taking peace from the earth. Okay, earth is not at peace. Look at earth now. There's wars happening on a day on a daily basis. Okay, and then they should kill one another. And how do you kill someone with a sword? Okay, Esau is living by his sword. Okay, and there was given unto him a great sword, a great sword represent what he mentioned. Okay, DARPA. Okay, you know a some brothers say that he got a laser technology in the heavens. Okay, in the earth atmospheres that he can shoot down and light things on fire. Okay, this one I'm talking about. This is what this devil can do to Chicago. He can shoot a laser down from the atmosphere and like that whole O block, right, area on fire if you wanted to. Okay. The Jake, I mean, the streets, crying, complaining, talking about they lost their homes, right? But they on the internet talking about threatening, Trump don't send a National Guard. Talking about there's 100,000 of them against a entire military force, right? That is virtually is more powerful. It rules them. Okay, it's ridiculous. People are. This is what I'm talking about. People are scholarship. They're dumb. They're stupid. And Yabashan Shai even said that his people were scholarship. His people are stupid. Amos 9 and 10 reads, all the sinners of my people should die by the sword. Yeah, we should say the evil should not overtake nor prevent us. So, this is Yahweh Shah speaking of his own people. He said he's all the sinners, right? You Jakes out here that look like this, okay? And that living by the sword, okay? And making these dumb statements about the national about Esau, right? You gonna be destroyed, okay? You would die by that word, right? You would die by the sword, okay? Because you were saying that by making that statement right here, by making this statement, you're saying what? That evil should not prevent, you should not overtake nor prevent us. You're saying that Esau, National Guard cannot destroy you, they won't be able to take over you, etc. But all the sinners would die by the sword. All those who say nothing bad will happen to us. And this is basically what you're saying, right? By making this statement, Chicago warning 100,000 going to fight back if National Guard arrive. You're saying that, nothing will not harm you. Nothing nothing bad will happen to you, okay? Because you're big in numbers, okay? But that's a stupid statement to make. And Yabashasha about to show out, okay, on you Jace out here. There's always got something called Jacob Trouble, and it's soon approaching. Second Jacob Trouble, right? All hell, we're gonna break loose. So I'm gonna close it here by giving all the praises to Yahweh.